In this section, we'll be selecting substrings. So what is a substring? Well, it's simply a portion of a string or just a smaller segment of a string. So you'll start out with a string of a certain size, and we're just going to select a smaller segment of it. And the way you do this in Python is with these square brackets. So we're going to append these square brackets to the variable name, and then that'll allow us to select that substring. Now, before we can select the substring, we need to understand what the index of each character is. So this is a term you must know. The index is simply the position of the character, like as an integer. So every character in a string has a position, and this position will always begins at 0. So this is a important and oftentimes confusing aspect of Python, is that the very first character is position 0, not 1. So numbering in Python begins at 0, not 1. So this P in this string over here is position 0, also known as index 0. The Y character over here is index 1, T is index 2, and so forth. So that's very strange. You say that the first character is at index 0. All right, so here's a string, and we're going to assign it to the variable name S. Python is eating the world. And then we will start selecting substrings. So we're going to begin in this video by selecting single characters. All right, and let's do it actually up here. So the way you do this is pretty simple. You put your variable name, in this case it's just S, then you put a square brackets, and the Jupyter Notebook will automatically put the other side. So if you start a square bracket, the left square bracket, it will automatically complete the right square bracket. And then you just put an integer in here, and this will select a single character. So to select the very first character, you put in 0. So we will execute this. This just grabs and really just selects the first character, which is uppercase P, like that. So this is a string. It just happens to be a string of one character, so that is valid. And we can select other characters now. So again, just put the variable name S, and we'll select the second character, which is index 1, like this, and that'll be Y. Let's keep going. Let's select the 7th character. Okay, that's a space, which is perfectly valid, is a character. We can select the 14th, or really the 15th character like this. That is an N. What's interesting about this selection is that you can use negative indices to select from the end. So -1 will select the last character. So -1 is D, like this. So very cool. So if you want to select the last one, you don't have to know how long the string is. You just use a negative. -2 is second from the end. That's this L right here, and so forth. We can select the -5th character from the end. That's a W. Okay, so very cool. So the rule is pretty simple. You just put the variable name, square brackets, and then its index in the square brackets. Now, if you select outside of this, so say position 100, well, you're going to get an error, an index error. So it's saying your index is wrong. It's out of the range. There is no character 100, and you'll get an error like that. So you can't just put any number in here. It has to be a valid one that corresponds to the length of the string. All right, so that is how you select a single character using the square brackets. In the next video, we'll see how we can select more characters using those same square brackets.